to buy or sell a home in the new year? We have you covered. I'm joined with Christian Belcher from Real Broker to talk home buying, interest rates, housing affordability, and more. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about some of these issues. We were just talking in the break about, what home buyers and sellers are experiencing. These issues here are the same nationally as in the CSRA?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, right now, a lot of sellers are struggling with selling their home. Nobody wants to sell their home with the 3 or 2% interest rate when they're going to buy another one with a 6% interest rate, which is what they are right now. So that's probably one of the biggest things. And then buyers are also struggling a lot too right now. Interest rates are around 6% across the nation right now, about 6.1, 6.2%. And that makes it really tough for a lot of buyers to be able to afford the same home. Even just as 4 or 5 years ago, cost about $400 more per month with that 6% interest rate. So it can be really tough. So the biggest things for buyers to be able to take advantage of would be taking advantage of interest rate buy downs. A lot of new construction builders are using some of those interest rate buy down incentive programs, and that's really helping to alleviate some of that pressure for buyers at least.
Yeah, what are some of these other factors that are maybe making it hard for home buyers? Our generation, the younger generation of working people, professionals now buying homes are saying that they're having difficulty. We're not making enough money, we're not able to afford it. What are some of these factors making that?
Yeah, another thing I would say too would be just really low inventory is keeping housing prices still elevated. I mean, simple economics just tells us that whenever we have low supply but high demand, prices stay elevated. And right now, that way the prices just aren't falling. Yeah. And so that's a pretty big factor in it. Also, builders aren't able to build homes right now. There's a pretty significant 1.5 to 2 million housing shortage across the nation. And that's simply because builders aren't able to build these homes because of inflationary pressures, stuff like that. So less inventory equals higher prices.
Yeah, and we're coming off of the heels of 2020 and the pandemic, and I know a lot of people thought the housing bubble would maybe improve after that. We saw a lot of, like you said, developers and builders not able to finish out projects, and things were stalled for a while. Have you seen anything alleviate some of that tension since then?
I think a lot of people thought 2025 was going to be a year of recovery, essentially. We thought that it was going to really improve, and it's kind of just been a missed opportunity just with inflationary pressures, again, labor shortages. It makes it more costly for these builders to be able to build these homes. And then, for buyers, it's just been a struggle recently. But especially for people in my generation, like the average age of a first-time home buyer right now is about 45 years old, which is pretty shocking. And so, these people, if you didn't get into a home before 2021, when interest rates were at 3% and 4%, it just kind of really sucks right now. So that's the biggest thing for home buyers, is to be able to take advantage of interest rate buy downs rather than reducing the price whenever you're negotiating for your home. Take advantage of those interest rate buy downs instead of maybe a price reduction. That's really going to help, especially young people like myself, be able to get into these homes without having to pay $2,500 for a mortgage payment, which is just kind of unrealistic for a lot of folks in their younger years.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing that age of home ownership, first-time home ownership, going up and up and up in age versus what we saw decades ago. In the state, we have something here, Georgia Dream ownership.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that plays into this?
Yeah, the Georgia Dream homeownership program is an awesome program. It's really for first-time home buyers that are looking to get into a home. Basically, what it does is it essentially eliminates the ability for you to have to come out of pocket for a down payment. It's a 0% interest deferred loan, essentially. You pay your down payment, essentially, when you close or when you sell your home or when you move out. So essentially, it takes about 3 to 3.5% of that closing costs away from the equation, which really helps when you're considering like the amount of cost that it creates to be able to buy a home. So if you qualify, it's an awesome program. I've got a couple people right now closing on homes in the next couple of weeks that are using that program.
Really? Can you speed us through some of those qualifiers and requirements? Because that sounds like it alleviates a lot of that stress when buying a home.
Yeah, so obviously, first and foremost, you have to be a first-time home buyer, or you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years. You've got to have some liquid assets on you, where you can't have this isn't for people who have $20,000 in cash lying in the bank. These are for some low to moderate income home buyers. And you can go to their website actually to find out a little bit more about it. It's just Georgia Dream Homeownership. If you just Google that, obviously it'll be the first thing that pops up, and you can read through the entire list of qualifiers on there.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something to take advantage of, and also, like you were saying, those low interest options for those builders. Thank you so much for coming in today and kind of walking us through these issues that people are experiencing, whether it's selling or buying a house. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right